Based on a true story, Catch Me If You Can follows the exploits of Frank Abagnale Jr., who posed as a pilot, doctor, and lawyer. He racked up millions of dollars in counterfeit checks all before his 19th birthday. For the lead role, Spielberg brilliantly turned to the boyish Leonardo DiCaprio, who exudes a youthful immaturity despite his big cons, while also successfully selling the character as someone capable of pulling off such incredible feats, a feat that we the audience saw from the very beginning. Leonardo DiCaprio inherits the roguish salesman charm from his father, played by Christopher Walken, and a sense of airy detachment from his mother. The combination of these two traits makes him a dangerous con man. After finding out that his parents are divorcing, Frank runs away from home and keeps running until he has the FBI hot on his trail. One thing I took note of while watching this, throughout Steven Spielberg's career, the absent father has been a staple, if you will, in few of his movies. From Close Encounters, to E.T., to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, even Hook is all about daddy issues. Spielberg's father was a workaholic, while he described his mother as Peter Pan, refusing to grow up and always playful. But when the filmmaker was 19, his parents divorced. His father left, seemingly abandoning the family, and it hit Spielberg hard. That is reflected in his work and the motif of the absent father who spurns the mother, leaving her to care for the kids. But Spielberg didn't know the whole truth about his parents' split. In the mid-1990s, he rekindled his relationship with his father and finally learned what happened. His father didn't leave. His mother found someone else. She fell in love with one of his father's best friends, but his father didn't want the children to be mad at her, so he took the blame and left. It is a fascinating story. Much of Spielberg's work is so impactful because of the absent father motif and how personal his films were, which did speak to so many people who went through similar traumas. Spielberg's trauma was genuine. He felt abandoned by his dad, and he said his mother was never really the same after the split. But after Spielberg learned the truth of his parents' divorce, that reality was reflected in his work, most explicitly at the time, Catch Me If You Can. Just as in Spielberg's real life, Frank is totally aware of his mother's infidelity, but its effect on Frank feels personal, as if Spielberg is trying to reach back in time and fix things. Frank is spurred to make a name for himself after his parents' divorce, and he's convinced if he makes enough money, if he does enough things, he can put the family back together. That's what's driving him, not greed or lust or the need to act out. He just wants his family back. We see this reflected beautifully in the scene when Frank has dinner with Brenda's family and catches a private moment between her parents, in which they're lovingly dancing together while doing the dishes. This nuclear family literally comes together to watch television, and the look on Frank's face is one of yearning and happiness. He wants so badly to live this American dream, and he's willing to go to fantastic lengths to try and achieve it. Sadly, it doesn't go that way. His mother remarried with a new kid, and while Frank was flying around the world counterfeiting checks, his father died from a freak accident on his commute into New York City. Not knowing what else to do, Frank ran from his choices, from his responsibilities, and from his family. Spielberg didn't run necessarily, but he did fulfill his dream of becoming a filmmaker, and then when the truth about his family was revealed, he channeled that into Catch Me If You Can, a deceptively entertaining effort that in truth stands as one of Spielberg's best films. But it's that personal touch, the theme of trying to put your family back together, that really makes Catch Me If You Can a winner.